Hello and welcome back. I have now finished all three of the new Dunland hero models, which I did an unboxing for a few days ago. I did actually do a painting guide on her, but unfortunately the data got corrupted on my phone for some weird reason, which I've never had before. So unfortunately the hour-long video of me painting her is now gone. But I decided to just steam ahead really and just kind of paint all the rest, get them all done and dusted, ready for when I start my Dunland army. So what I did was just experiment on a few bases just to see a new type of scheme that I wanted to do. So I want to do kind of like a mud field basically, with the occasional rocks and stuff. And I'm going to do the same for the bases on my Rohan houses as well. But yeah, I say these are an absolute treat to paint. Thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish. I think he was probably my most favourite model to paint. Just the detail on these things is crazy. But yeah, so when these come out for general release, if you don't buy one, you're crazy. These are really nice. So with him, I run through a painting basically step by step of what I did with her, and I pretty much applied the same methods to the other two. Obviously, you got the oath breaker here. I done a little bit of red on the blade before he sliced his hand. He was probably the easiest model to paint. He only took a few minutes to do. But basically, what I did was started from a black undercoat, done a really heavy dry brush with Mornfang brown over the entire model. Not the hair though, or just the base of the hair, so it looks a little bit dirty at the bottom. Heavy dry brush over the entire model. Swap hands, man, I'm going numb. And pretty much from there, what I did was I started off with a bone colour for the trousers. I painted the red, which was just normal, I think it's Mephiston red I used. Just obviously I watered down all the paints. Painted the chainmail. I used XV88 for the bindings on the legs. Same with the shield as well, XV88 on the bindings for the shield. The pelt was just painted with Steel Legion drab and then just dry brushed up. I washed the entire model with brown. I normally wash models with black, but for this one I wanted kind of a dirtier feel, so I went with brown. Predominantly there is a lot of brown on it, so it made more sense as it would highlight the colours a bit better. The flesh I have a flesh colour that I bought, and it's from this company called Miniature Paints. Basically it comes in these little glass jars, but I cracked the jar years ago unfortunately, and it started drying out, so I put it into a tub. But it's probably one of the best flesh colours I've ever used. It's I think it's called tanned flesh. I think Army Painter do a similar colour, but it's a little bit darker slightly. But I just used that as a base coat, so I had to do 2 coats for that to get a nice colour, a nice even colour. I then went over it with trying to get this in so I can get a bit of the detail shown through. If I can get a bit of get natural light on it. Nope, that's not working. I went over it with Ryglan Flesh Shade. I did 2 coats of that, so applied one thin coat, let it dry, applied the next one. That got in all the grooves of the fingers and the face and stuff. I then went over it again with the tan flesh. Put this here actually. Yeah, went over it again with the tan flesh. I then highlighted it with Cadian flesh. So with the fingers here, because the mould wasn't actually that good, I actually had to paint the fingers in. So I went over with Cadian flesh tone, and then I did a very watered down glaze with just on the raised areas with Kislev flesh. That was to do all the knuckles, the eyebrows, the nose, similar raised areas and stuff. And yeah, that was pretty much like 90% of the model done. Then I just went back over, touched up the red, so I went back over the red with Mephiston. I went over it then just on the raised edges, so just on the folds and the creases I went over with, I think what's it called? It's called Evil Sun Scarlet. And then just on literally the tiniest little tips of the corners on the cloak, on the just on these little edges of the cloak and stuff. I went over with Troll Slayer orange. The same with the shield where this slit is. I just went over the edges with Troll Slayer orange just to brighten up a little bit more. So I applied the exact same paint scheme to this guy as well. Obviously he's got a lot more flesh on him, so I had to just build up the layers of flesh again in exactly the same way as I painted her skin. The weapons are just painted black, and then I just washed them with Nuln Oil. That was it. His fur I painted grey because he's got kind of like a wolf pelt. Did like a tanned kind of colour on there, so it looked like it's been cleaned up and preserved and what have you. His cloak was done exactly the same way as her cloth was as well. So Mephiston red, went over it with obviously the brown wash. Went over it again with Mephiston red just on the raised areas, kept some of the wash in the crevices. Then on these raised edges like here and here and down the bottoms, again with the lighter red, and then Troll Slayer orange on the very tips. But as you can see, the red is quite a striking colour on them, and obviously because they are mostly brown, doing the red just kind of gives it a little bit more of a focal point to the model, just so you can, yeah, it's nice to have a little splash of colour here and there. And I'm going to be applying the same principles and the same schemes to my Dunlandings when I get them all sorted out and painted. Oath Slayer was even easier, didn't even have to bother with the red stage. Literally just browns, bit of metal on the plate metal on his shoulders, bone colour for the skull and the ribs or bones or teeth, whatever they are, bit of red on the knife, and that is pretty much it. So I've got to do his eyes. That's the thing, I did do his eyes and his teeth, so I'll go back and do them. But yeah, I've got another set there I've got to paint up again today, so double the fun. I had a little bit of a play around with the bases on these, because obviously I do paint these with the stands on them, and obviously with his leg being a little bit up, I decided to just go screw it, I'll put a rock on the base and have him standing on that. Oh yeah, his scar on his face, obviously when I did the skin I used Kislev flesh to highlight literally just the raised area of the scar, and then I went back around the creases of the scar with Carabao Crimson. I used basically next to no Carabao on it, and then I just kind of, when it was on there, I kind of pushed it around a bit with a brush. But yeah, so he's a fantastic model to paint. Probably one of the favourite things I've painted this year, actually, to be fair. It's nice to kind of have a start for my Dunland army as well. I've obviously been wanting to get a Dunland army for the last few years, but I didn't want to pay 30 quid for like 3 or 4 models, because that would have cost me hundreds of pounds for an army. Patiently waited and waited and waited, and then finally they got announced, and I just jumped on it like it was going out of fashion, really. I spent about £190 on obviously a 30 quid a box, so I got 2 boxes of Wild Men, because I love the Wildman models. I'm going to be doing a lot of conversions on them, so I'm going to be doing some that hold flaming torches, and I'm going to do some pikes and things, not pikes, what do you call them, the things you use for picking up hay. You know what I mean? I'm going to be doing some of them, and some just clubs and things like that, and just your kind of weapons you'd find laying around in a barn, really. I've got them. I've got 2 boxes of the normal Dunland Warriors. I was really happy as well, because I thought they were going to release the captain and the banner models separate, but they were in the box, so you know it makes it even better, because they've now got a leader and a banner for the unit. So I've got 2 boxes of them, and I also got Thorin and Wolfbane as well. So he's going to be obviously the army general, and then when the actual general release for these comes out, I will buy probably about 4 or 5 blisters of the horses, so I have about 10, and then that way I can kind of mix and match as I want, depending on the scenarios and the games I play. And yeah, I'm thoroughly chuffed. And I've got to do some Krebine as well, the crows. But I've found some Warhammer Age of Sigmar models. There was a set that released that had crow models in them, and they had like 4 bases. And that was like 17 quid, so I'm just going to buy that, and that way it's still GW legal that I can use in tournaments and games and things. But obviously, since these have been announced, I have done a few more bits and pieces. I've got my Warg Rider Banner Bearer he's all ready to be painted up to add to my other, and I've got, yeah, what have I got, about 20 of the old metal ones, and I've got another four of these just normal metal bowmen to paint up as well, so that make it 25 of the old metal Wild Riders. I can't stand the plastic models, but I'm going to do a captain, and I think the captain I'm going to do with a sword and a shield. I just got to find a model to use, really. I might change that banner up for something different depending on how I feel, but at the moment that'll do for what I need it for. I'm also going to try and fish out my Rohan as well, because I've got a few Rohan models I kept just in case I ever wanted to go back to Rohan. So I'll probably get them done over Christmas. I've only got 2 more commissions to do, and I'm literally freed up till, I'm not taking on any jobs until January. So that kind of gives me time to redo my studio, which is now a mess. Everything's just everywhere in here at the moment. I'm going to have a shuffle around, get it all done properly, get my toy collections out of the attic, put them on the shelves. And yeah, that's like my Dunland army. Hopefully I can get that done over Christmas. I've still got my Morannon army that I need to do the vlog for. I have made a little bit of progress with that. I painted the Witch King on Fell Beast, and then the Witch King foot model. I started on the troll's skin as well for my 4 trolls, and I also bought another 2 of the orc siege weapons, the like giant bow things. So I've got 3 of them now for the army, because obviously I'm going just pure Morannons, no orcs, no normal orcs or anything. I can't obviously take bows, so I'm going to have 3 of those siege weapons in place of bows. But they're all on they're going to be all on generation shift bases, so I'm going to be in the next few days getting all them out of the bags, cleaning them up, and yeah, try and get those 2 armies done before the new year, hopefully. Both the Dunland and the Morannon army are going to be done to a very high tabletop standard, so normally with my armies I just kind of slap paint on them just to get them on the table, but with these I am going to be spending a lot more time, because I want to obviously enter these into best painted competitions and things at tournaments, so excuse me, I'm going to be sorting those out. And I've still got my eagle bases as well to do. I bought Guahir's base off a friend for a tenner, so I went back, and obviously because I'm putting the trolls onto different bases, I had the troll bases spare that I could replace my horrible flat flying stands with, so I've now got four of these bases ready to paint, really. With, I'll probably just spray them and airbrush them, to be honest, just to get them out of the way. But I've got Guahir's base here as well, and they're all on my upgraded brass rods, so that's yet another project. But obviously, because I've been so busy this year with commissions, because it's now my day job, and I have to pay the bills, hopefully over Christmas I can get a bit of time to finish up my projects. But so if you get a chance to buy these models, they're just, yeah, when they come for release, buy them. I'm actually tempted to buy another set, just to paint again, really. I'd love to paint these for a 3rd time. They're just so fantastic. I have put pictures up on my Facebook page, so Tabletop Painter. You can see these in better detail on there. I've done some close-ups and done some in black and in white as well, just to see what the difference was in photography, really. But so I think she was my favourite to start with, but obviously after painting him, I can't not love that model, really. But yeah, so unfortunately I did do a paint and vlog for her, but the data corrupted, and it was just too much of a hassle to try and recover, and my laptop's not the best either, so everything gets done on my phone. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy this little showcase I've done. I will be painting some Dunlandings. I'll do a video on how to paint Dunlandings, hopefully, if that doesn't corrupt as well. But yeah, so thank you for watching, guys, and happy hobby, and I'll see you probably for another video in a few days if I can get one done. And yeah, see you around, guys.